Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to talk about the profile 1-4 in human design. And if you haven't already, please feel free to check out my other videos where you can learn more about human design and how you can use it in your life. So let's get started and explore the characteristics of somebody with the profile 1-4. The profiles are made up of 6 different lines, and there's 12 different combinations that can make up a profile. So everybody has one of these profiles, and it's based on the date and time of birth. The profiles change throughout the day, so somebody who's born on the same day as you may not necessarily have the same profile because the time of their birth is different than yours. The profiles are configured using specific calculations, but they're not calculations that we need to know because they're always given in any body graph that you want to get. In human design, profiles talk about our character and how we operate in the world, and add one more dimension on the information that the human design body graph can give. I've already done videos on how the profile lines act on their own, and today we're going to talk about how they act together. So if you want more information, you can check out the videos I've already done. Profile lines come from the conscious and unconscious sun in the human design body graph. The first number is always going to be the conscious sun, and the second number is always going to be the unconscious sun. So when we talk about the profiles, people might feel they connect more with the first number that we talk about as opposed to the second, depending on their age, because most people will become more aware of their unconscious after the age of 40, but may be less aware of it before that. But just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in your personality and character. Ultimately, both profile lines are equally important. So what does it mean to have a 1-4 profile, and how does it affect your character? Profile 1-4 is made up of the lines of the investigator and also the opportunist. When someone has a first line in their profile, that means they're data driven and like to investigate. And when it's combined with the line 4, they need to use the knowledge and data that they have studied to build a foundation, so they will go deep into the investigation while they wait, then find opportunities through their network to share what they know. And because of this, they don't like to rush into anything until they have investigated it to the point that they have built a solid foundation about what they have investigated. So when we talk about somebody with a 1-4 profile, we're talking about somebody who is consciously investigating. This is someone who needs to have all the data before they do anything in their life. And usually this energy expresses itself as someone being deeply curious. These are usually people who don't like to jump into anything unless they've investigated it first. And only after they've built a solid foundation from their investigations will they feel like they can move forward in something. In this way, the 1-4 profile is a double foundational profile. This can also be called a fixed profile because people who carry this energy don't like to be changed. The key with somebody who carries a 4 energy, no matter what combination it comes in, is that they like to be accepted for who they are. And somebody who carries the energy of the 4th line can suffer a lot if they're being criticized. Because it is such a foundational profile, anybody who carries this energy will build friends over time, and they rarely change their friends once they have them. Marriage-wise, somebody with a 1-4 profile prefers to be friends first, and then only after they've had that foundation will they move on to something romantic. And if they jump into the romantic part of the relationship first, it can sometimes not work out as they expected. People with the profile 1-4 could be considered some of the slowest moving people in the world, because only once they've built a foundation from their investigations will they actually want to do anything with what they've learned. The 1-4 profile is also considered something that's not very common. In fact, it only occurs 2.3% based on the data collected by the Jovian archives. Since all types can carry a 1-4 profile, how does it feel for the different human design types to carry a 1-4 profile? When a manifestor carries a 1-4 profile, we might consider this individual somebody who truly can use the standard law of attraction formula to get their opportunities in life. The law of attraction we're talking about states that we can attract into our lives whatever we are focusing on. So in this case, a manifestor will investigate and also build a foundation on what they've learned from their investigation. And after they've done this, then they can create the opportunity that will fit what they've investigated and the foundation they've built. Having a 1-4 profile is probably one of the only things that will actually slow a manifestor down, because the need to investigate and build a foundation and structure from what they've learned is more important to them than rushing ahead and trying to create opportunities without having all the information before they do so. But because manifestors make up less than 10% of the population, and also the 1-4 profile is quite rare as well, People who are manifestors with a 1-4 profile probably aren't very common. When a projector carries a 1-4 profile, the process is much slower than most of the other types because they need to be recognized for what they know and the foundation they built before they can share what they know. And sometimes this recognition can take a while to come for a projector type. And if the recognition takes too long, some projector types might go out and try and make their own opportunities like they're a manifestor. Because that's not their strategy, it may not work out as they expected. And because the fourth line energy is all about networking, when their networks don't come through and give them recognition and an ability to share what they've learned, bitterness and a feeling of being let down can sometimes happen. But the key for the energy of the 1-4 profile in a projector is to know that their network will eventually recognize what they know and they will be given the opportunities that they've built the foundation for, but only if they hold the faith that they will be invited into the opportunity that they've been preparing for all along. As usual, we're going to group the generators and manifesting generators into one category because their strategies are the same. Again, this profile type moves very slowly, as all people who carry the 1-4 profile. Since someone with the fourth line energy doesn't like to move from one opportunity unless there's a new opportunity waiting for them, a 1-4 generator type will be investigating and building a foundation on an opportunity that they want to show up in their outer world while they remain in the opportunity that they're already in. And because investigation and the foundation building can take some time, there might be less frustration for a 1-4 profile because the opportunity that they've been studying and waiting for usually shows up after they've done all the investigating and building a foundation that they need. And because generators work on a stair-step learning curve, where they go up one step and sit on a plateau and wait for the next thing or the next part of their mastery, someone who carries a 1-4 energy might find it easier to wait for that next opportunity. When a reflector carries the energy of a 1-4 profile, they can investigate and build a foundation with their information while they wait their moon cycle to see if an opportunity is correct for them. And because of the nature of the reflector type, the opportunity usually comes through a network of friends in the community that they live in. Knowing your profile is just the beginning of what the human design body graph will tell you. But I'm going to stop here now and let you digest what I've just talked about. And please feel free to check out my other videos where you can learn more and more about human design, the body graph, and all about you. Because when we truly know who we are, life just gets easier.